What's good, y'all? It's your girl, Kristen Ayana, and before we get into this episode, I just gotta say, make sure that y'all subscribe, like, and turn those post notifications on, and stay tuned with Black Talk Radio. Welcome to Black Talk Radio, hosted by Kristen Ayana. Listen as we discuss the latest in Black culture, Black news, and Black entertainment. What's good, y'all? It's your girl, Kristen Ayana, and welcome back to Black Talk Radio, where we discuss the latest in Black culture, news, and entertainment. Now, I'm very excited because it's Women's History Month, and I got a special guest in the building. Who do I have with me today?
What's up, y'all? It's Corrine. Thank you so much for having me. You know how bad I wanted to come here, so I'm so happy.
I'm so happy to have you.
Yes, absolutely.
First of all, I don't get a lot of media girlies or people that I feel can relate to just myself and just being in this crazy industry. So I'm very excited to have you today.
I'm happy to be.
We're gonna get into some things.
Let's get into it.
So first things first, can you just tell those who may or may not know who you are, and of course what got you into entertainment, media, and journalism?
Okay, so I'm Corrine. I'm a staff writer at Vibe magazine. Before that, I was doing hip hop journalism at Hip Hop DX. I worked for Power 105 for a little bit, Hot 97's The New Movement, The Griot, hip hop since 1987, Above Average Hip Hop. I did a bunch of things that was just hip hop journalism. And also I was a teacher. Forgot about that. So I was teaching while I was doing all of that, and then when I finally got the chance to leave teaching to do something that I was so passionate about and get more money, I took that leap of faith. So here we are. And I always just loved music. Of course, I started out as a singer. I was singing with my best friends, and then from there, we kind of went to college. I went to college. Some of them didn't, but we ended up branching off, and I just ended up writing about music instead of trying to be a singer. And here we are.
Oh, wow. I didn't know the singing part.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the music online? Can I find it?
No. Allegedly. It might be something out there, but okay. I'm not sharing because I don't want nobody seeing it. I don't want nobody seeing that.
No, that's fine though. Yeah. When you left, being a teacher, what was that feeling like? And then what was your experience being a teacher, and how did you get into that?
I loved teaching. It started because I was in high school, and I remember I needed a job, an after school job. And this lady just came in, and she was looking for seniors, and she's like, "We looking for people who can do after school care and stuff." So I was like, "I need money," so I did it. And I don't know. From there, I just always had teaching jobs. I was a after school counselor, and then I started being a paraprofessional. That's a one-on-one. And then I did substitute teaching, and then I became a head teacher, and then that's when, I left after that. But yeah, it pretty much landed in my lap. And I loved it.
I love that. I think, listen, we need these kids to stay in school.
Yeah. And look, I'm telling you, right now, I was a preschool teacher, right? And I feel like I was with the babies. And I feel like people think that's babysitting, and it's not. That was hard work. I had to do lesson planning, parent teacher conferences, had to do analysis on the kids, all types of stuff. And
that's so young.
Yeah, and I loved it, but of course I was always passionate about this. So even when I'm teaching, I would still be on my phone creating stuff for my own brand, looking for opportunities. On the weekend I'm at events, and it was just crazy. And I was going to school too at the same time, so I was doing 3 things at once. And so I loved it, but when it was time to go, it was time to go.
How did you know when it was time to go?
Because I got that offer. And I kept saying every year, oh, in September, I'm not going to be a teacher. I'm not going back to teach. I would say that every summer. The next thing you know, I'm back teaching. And I remember while I was teaching, I was still applying to stuff. I think I was trying to work at Viacom at the time.
Okay.
That was my dream job. And I remember I kept applying. I kept getting denied. Then I finally got an interview with them. I did 4 rounds of interviews. And I'm like, oh, I know I got it. I ain't hear nothing from them after that. They went ghost. And the next thing you know, I was teaching again. And then I remember one of my girls that was working at Vibe, she was like, hey, apply because we're looking for writers. And she was like, if you want to recommend me as somebody, you can. And they pulled me for an interview, did the written test, got the job, and they was offering something nice. So I was like, you know what? I think this is the time to take the leap of faith. It was worth it for me.
I love that. Now, when you didn't, when Viacom ghosted you and you had to return to teaching, how did you feel in that moment?
I felt a little defeated. I felt like maybe it's not meant to be. Like, I felt like I was just never going to get that chance to really fully do what I know I love to do. And it just was kind of disheartening, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing what I have to do until I can do what I want to do, you know? So I just rolled with the punches.
Well, I'm happy you didn't give up. And I feel like it's just like sometimes we have like an image of like what we see our future, but it's like God has like something else planned. So it's just so interesting to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it was. It literally was like that. I was like, you know, if it's meant to be, it will be. And when that opportunity came and I saw what they was offering, I'm like, okay, this is enough for me to actually leave and be able to take care of myself. And I won't have to be doing little side jobs and stuff. So it was worth it for me because I'm like, I'm doing what I love and I'm financially secure now. And so it was good for me to go.
Because I know for a lot of teachers, like financially, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Like where I was working at, I would say like they had me in like the 50s range a year. And so at the time for what I had going on, I was like, okay, this is kind of doable. But I knew for what I wanted, like I needed more. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was all about the money, but it definitely played a part in me being like, it's time for
yeah, like I feel even like looking at certain roles now and what certain companies are offering, it's like, yo, I gotta eat. Like, this is cute and all, like, yay, fun, but like, it's not gonna be cute if I'm in a homeless shelter.
Oh, absolutely. Like, they don't be understanding that sometimes. When you try to explain to them like your cost of living, they just be like, you know, they get what they need though.
Right.
You know, so I try to just, you know, roll with the punches and keep striving for more as I do what I'm doing. Right.
I agree. I feel like too, like with whatever industry you're in or like whatever job, like it's important to know like what's next and just like, you know, never getting like stagnant. I think is super important.
And that's how I've always been. I just always felt like I'm not going to be where I'm at too long, you know? So to be honest, me going on 3 years where I'm at now, that's kind of long for me. I feel like in this kind of industry, you know, but I'm still like thinking about what's next and what can I do more after this.
You know? Yeah.
Like I don't plan to be a staff writer
forever. Right.
You know, even though I'm doing everything else, like I don't plan for that to be my title forever.
Right. And as you should though, like, you know, you always want to grow. You always want to hold yourself accountable to expand.
Right.
Now, something I want to get into is you're from Jersey. We don't get a lot of Jersey people.
We don't.
I'm very excited. We got Jersey in the building.
Irvington.
Okay. Especially Irvington.
Right.
So can you just tell us a little bit about like what your experience was like growing up in Jersey and like how do you feel that has like impacted you like as, you know, someone in the entertainment industry today?
Okay, I would say coming from Jersey, we always get a lot of slack and they be like, oh, y'all trying to be like New York, y'all want to be but the thing is we got our own culture here. Right. We got our own sound here, our own talented people. We have huge stars that came from Jersey. And so I just always felt like we always gotta like try harder or like prove ourselves, you know? And now, especially being that Jersey clubs all over the radio, all the New York artists rapping on it, all the Philly artists, it just lets you know, like, we have something here that's so, like, rich and so rare. And it's just so, I'm happy to have it out there now. But I just wish that, like, the ones who actually started this Jersey sound will, like, get their credit and, like, get on, you know? But that's always just something to be proud of, being from Jersey, that, like, we have something right now that's taking the world by storm, you know?
I'm not gonna lie. I was super, like, when people started rapping on Jersey club beats, I was really so gagged, like, because I always thought of it like as its own thing in its own little world. But then it started like blowing up on TikTok and like even some of the sexy drill, like it's Jersey club.
No, absolutely.
So it's just crazy to see like the evolution of that. And to your point, like, I feel like a lot of people do try to say, like, when they think Jersey, I don't know what they think, but they don't understand, like, it's a culture here, and a culture that's very much Black, too.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, that Jersey club scene, like, that comes from people in, you know, predominantly Black communities. So I think I'm proud as well that, like, okay, we have a subdivision that was able to, like, expand.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I totally agree.
So as far as like being, you know, a Black woman in journalism, media, and entertainment, what would you say has been like one of the biggest lessons you've taken away?
Ooh, well, that's a tough one. one of the biggest lessons I've taken away is that when I think I really know something, like stand on that. And because I've seen it happen so many times where I'll have an idea and I feel like because maybe I'm a woman, and I won't even say this is going on while I've been where I am now, but in the past, I've been like the only woman in a hip hop space.
Okay.
And I've definitely had ideas that like kind of got shot down or like people brushed it off, but then either somebody else will say it and they'll do it. You know, I'd be like, I just said that. Like, hello. Like, I think so that's been the biggest lesson for me. Like, just stand your ground. When you believe in something, stand on it. Even if nobody else thinks it's a good idea, like you have to believe in that idea because somebody else will do it. You know, and then you'll be sitting there like hello, like I said it first, So I think that's been like one of the biggest lessons. Like,
I definitely feel that. I feel like hip hop and just like music in general is such like a boys club.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's like when a woman has an idea, it's very much like. But I feel like the most successful artists have women on their team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to all my women, managers out there representing artists, publicists, journalists. Like, I don't know, like women just have that extra.
You know what it is? Like, we have that logic, but we also have that nurturing aspect. So it's like I'm not gonna say all women, but most women, like before anything, they want to make sure that you're good. They care about you. They care about your best interest. And I feel like a lot of men, they just kind of like thinking like, dude, let me just do. We think about the future and like how something's gonna affect you in the long run. And I think that's why a lot of people, we bring like that motherly, sisterly feeling, So why not? Everybody needs a woman on their team. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree. What are some ways you feel like you try to like balance like your work life and like your personal life? Because I feel like as women, we're so layered, and there's like a lot that goes into our lives outside of just our career that people don't know about.
Yeah.
So how would you say like you try to balance it all?
It's definitely not easy, but I feel like you kind of just make time for the things you want to make time for. Whether that's relationships, family, friends, just me time. I try to always just factor that in. So it's like as soon as I'm done with my work, like when I clock out of work, I'm not thinking about work. That's my time. Like whether that's with me and my family, whatever. I just kind of factor it in. And it's like if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. And sometimes that means turning down opportunities. It means like, okay, I'm not going to go to this festival I really want to go to this week because I need to spend time here. Or I need to do something there. So I think it's just kind of like managing your time where you're still getting done what you have to get done, but don't forget about yourself and the people around you. So it's not that hard for me, but it was something I had to learn over time. Like, okay, Amber, like, yeah, you want to focus on your career. You want to have this great career. But if that career leads you today, these are the people that's going to be there. So you need to, make sure you spend time with them too. So nowadays, I just do what I want. Like, if I don't want to do an opportunity, I'm not doing it. If I'd rather, be over here at a family function instead of going to, I don't know, something as big as Coachella, then that's what I'm going to do. Like for me now, I think before, it was just like, I want to be everywhere.
Yeah, I want to. In the beginning stages.
Yeah, like in the beginning stages, you want to be everywhere. You want to show your face. You want to network. But once you get a little more seasoned and you kind of know how things go, you kind of start picking and choosing like what you want to give your time.
Which is basically what me and you were talking about a little bit off camera. It's like, I'm tired.
No, for real. Like some stuff you just be like, I know how this is gonna go. I know how, sometimes shit is not organized. Like sometimes stuff is not organized, so I'm not even gonna waste my time. You already know how stuff gonna go. So I pick and choose now. If I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think that's important. And like I love that you mentioned like you do what you want to do, because also understanding that like, your career, if it goes away tomorrow, because I think it's so easy for people to get warped and like wrapped up in this industry. Like, oh, I'm with celebrities. Oh, but I never had that type of personality, and I don't feel like you do either. And I feel like that's like what has allowed us to like be in certain spaces that
absolutely.
Like
I've been around so many people, and not once. I don't think I've ever been starstruck. I don't think that I can recall. I don't think I've ever been starstruck. And I like, if I'm bringing people around too, like if I'm bringing like my friends and stuff, like I don't like to bring people around that's gonna act that way
just
too.
Be cool.
Like, like I've never been like that. It's like I'm here to do a job. Like, yeah, if you cool, we could connect and talk, but It's never like I want somebody to treat me like I'm their equal. So if I treat you like a celebrity, you're gonna treat me like
right. You're not gonna take me serious.
You know, so I don't do that. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always cool to meet people that you see on TV, but like after a while, you're gonna start to see like, okay, these are just regular ass people. Like, I don't need to do the most when I get around them.
Yeah. And I feel like too, like they're regular people. Everyone's human, and it's like a certain level of professionalism. What was the outlet? Damn, I'm trying to remember. At the Grammys with Babyface.
What was the name of it? It was two Caucasian ladies, but I don't remember what
is that outlet?
What was it? NPR? No.
AP.
AP. Okay, yes. Associated Press.
Yeah. That's so an example like that for those who may or may not know, during the Grammys on the red carpet, AP was interviewing Babyface, and then one of the reporters basically cut him off because they wanted to interview Chaperone.
Something like that.
I think it's like that. Now, I understand the chaos of a carpet.
Me too.
But that was not acceptable to me. Because there were so many ways you could maneuver that. And I'm talking from, like, dead-ass experience. Like, I think it's one thing.
It's happened to all of us. You see somebody walking by, you're like, oh, shit, I need to get that. But it's the way you do it.
So it's like, we're viewing it, but we're not talking out our ass. Mm-hmm. I mean, common sense, and everyone can see that was blatant disrespect.
Absolutely.
But, like, my thing is, if you're on a carpet and you see someone at the end of the carpet that you really, really, really want to get, don't start just talking to people for filler. Because you can simply just say, like, to the publicist, I'm like, my outlet, we're not going to cover Babyface.
Right, or we'll see, or we'll circle back, or something like that. But you don't just,
Because that's really what it was. The real thing was y'all never, I feel like they really didn't want to interview him originally.
I want to kind of, maybe, this is not me playing devil's advocate, it's not. But I will say this. I've also experienced being on a carpet where there's black talent and there's black outlets. And I've stopped a black publicist for their black talent and said, hey, can I talk to them? And they told me straight up, oh, no, we're going to go over here to the white outlet. Yeah. So I'm not saying that's what Babyface did. And I hope that's not what happened. Mm-hmm. But this is what black talent, y'all need to start supporting black media more because we care. We're not going to disrespect you. We know, and and I'm not saying they didn't know his legacy, but they treated it as if they didn't know. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like most black outlets who respect black legends like that will ever do that. So they need to start giving us the time too.
Yeah, I agree, and I feel like that's what a lot of people were saying on Twitter. It's like, go into spaces where like you're appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I can agree more.
And I don't even think too, another thing when with the clip, I think another issue was just the like which made it come up in my mind as we were talking about like, just fanning out for people and stuff. It's like the level of like professionalism. Like even if you did want to interview, Chaperone, it's like the way you went about it, like
totally wrong. Like they just dismissed him. Like literally dismissed him. And like some people were saying on Twitter, which I thought would have been cool too, like they could have pulled her into the interview and like made it a joint thing, which would have been cool because who knows if they even met before. So you would have got a moment right there, But I mean, everybody doesn't think on their feet. Like I definitely have my moments where I'm not thinking on my feet, but it's like, come on, like y'all work AP, like y'all should know a little better.
I'm noticing like artists are interviewing like other artists.
Oh, that
they're friends with. Like you're not gonna ask Drake. You're Drake's friend. You're not gonna ask Drake without really what the people really want to know.
Right. It just made me think. I recently interviewed Nori, for Drake Champs, and I asked him about that. I was just like who's somebody that you wanted to interview? And he told me like with Jay-Z, he's been wanting to interview Jay-Z for the longest, but Jay-Z straight up told him like no. He was like, because we're friends, like we're actually real life friends, but when you behind that mic, you're media, and I'm not dealing with that. Mm-hmm. And he was just saying like how he was kind of like even scared to ask Nas to come on, but then he made a point. He was like, for him, he was like, I've literally been in like rooms with these people. Like I've watched these people for years. I've known them for years. So like I feel like I can ask them things that only I can ask them that they would answer.
So it's twofold.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I kind of get it, but some of them I just be like, nah, you shouldn't be behind nobody's mic. Like you really shouldn't, because once again, like I love Nori, but that interview they did with Chris Brown that pissed me off. Because they was too drunk. They got way too drunk. And, like, the stuff they was asking him, it was just, like, it was all over the place. Mm-hmm. And I think he kind of knew that and kind of took responsibility for that, too. So I'm like, I think there's a certain level of, like, just knowledge and skill an experience that you do get in school, you do get with experience, being on carpet out there, that some of them just don't know, and they don't try to know. You know?
Right. I agree. I also feel like, too, like, there's different levels to it. Because, for example, I don't think it's a problem with, like, someone interviewing their friend. Yeah. Angie Martinez.
Yeah.
Go.
Right.
Half the people that she's interviewed, Mary J., I could go on. Those are her legit friends. Yeah. Uh-huh. But she's a real ass journalist. Yeah. So friend or not, like, she knows how to, like, have those conversations and create those conversations. So I feel like in that instance it's different versus like two artists, music artists, interviewing each other that are friends.
Now, because
one doesn't have the skill.
Do you, like, when you say artist on artist, are you talking about like those who just do like a one-off interview, or like the ones who actually have podcasts? Like people who are actually getting podcasts and bringing on guests?
I feel like it's a mix of both, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Because I also have a little issue with everyone just having a podcast.
Oh yeah, that too. Everybody has a podcast now. Everybody. Like, more power to you, but some of y'all don't need to be behind the mic. I'm just say that.
What Nikki say? Cut his fucking mic.
No, for real. Like, you know, I'm not here to knock nobody's hustle. It's enough room for all of us. But I do feel like some people just hop on trends and they don't really care about the art of it. They don't care about the craft of it. It's just like, oh, okay, this is a quick way to make money. This is a quick way to talk to people that I'll never get to talk to.
And it's actually not a quick way to make money.
It's not.
It's actually very fucking hard.
And everybody, to be honest, everybody just wants that viral moment. I think that's what it is. Like, it's more so about, oh, I just want to get somebody on a show that's going to say something crazy. We going to go viral. I'm going to blow up and I'm going to be a star. And they don't care about the craft of it, like I said. And I feel like that happens with a lot of people that I see. A lot of these podcasts, they be talking about a lot of bullshit. A lot of bullshit.
A lot of bullshit, but then it's like a lot of the same shit. 50-50.
50-50.
What else?
Black women. That's just always going to be a topic about what women should be doing and shouldn't be doing. Like, that part. Like, yes.
Like, we have like a lot of bigger fish to fry. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's like what we were talking about. Well, I can't put it out there yet, but the kind of show that I would like to do, like, I just want to talk about real stuff, like real conversations with real people. Like, I can't do the, you know, I already work in a space where I can go viral if I want to because I have the leverage and stuff like that. But I want to be in a space where we can talk about real issues that people care about and people can relate to. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, entertainment is great, like escapism, and people are always going to love music and things of that nature. But, you know, there's like so much going on in the world right now. Like, we really do need a conversation. And that's why, like, even with like my platform and Black Talk, like, you know, I don't want to be, while I've interviewed a lot of music artists and I love music and I'm super passionate about it, you know, one of my goals is like, I don't want to be pigeonholed to just music.
Absolutely. And that's exactly how I feel.
I don't want to do that anymore. So it's like I'm making conscious efforts. Like, I knew bringing you up here today. Like, yes, we're gonna get into music, fine. But like, I know you're so much more beyond.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we've had like amazing conversations just beyond music. So I felt like, you know, this is someone that I feel like, okay, I can have an impactful conversation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, you already know. And that, to be honest, that was kind of like what attracted me to working at Vibe now, because I'm like, yeah, of course, it's known for music, you know, but I can do so much more there, too. Like, I can talk to actresses and actors. I can talk to fashion people, whatever. Like, it don't have to just be about music, you know. So, like, that's kind of like the lane I want to keep going towards. Like, just kind of, I'm not trying to get away from music, but I want to just expand the horizons. Like, you know, like.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, Black people are, you know, so many layers.
Oh, yeah.
So many things that we do. There's so many things to us. Now, you know, you mentioned you've done like so many interviews, covered so many different events. What would you say has been like your most memorable journalism experience?
You know what? Every time I get this question, I can never answer it because I feel like it's just so
it's
much.
Ever changing.
And you know, we do so much. It's like I just be on go. It's like once you do the next thing, you on to the next thing, on to the next thing. Most impactful. Why is Michael B. Jordan sticking out to me right now?
Love him.
I'm not even gonna say that was the most impactful. That was just the most like shocking thing. I think because I manifested that. Like, I really did. I wrote that. Oh yeah, Shaq too. Okay, I will say this. All right. I have a list of people who like are my top people I would like to interview one day. And Shaq was like number 2, I think. Michael B. Jordan might have been number 1. I don't know. I said Michael B. Jordan, right? I didn't say Michael Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. So I got to talk to Shaq last year. That was really impactful. And what was crazy about that is because when I Shaq's grandmother, right? May she rest in peace. She used to live in East Orange.
Mhm.
She had a house that was next door to my grandmother's sister's house. They was neighbors, and Shaq would always come there. So my family has met Shaq. Everything. So when I was a baby, my mom told me that like whenever I would go over there, I would sit like on a porch with his grandmother sometimes. Like I would just sit with her. And when I finally got a chance to interview him last year, I told him that story. He was like, "Oh my god!" Like and I felt like that was just a full circle moment. And I always wanted to talk to Shaq because he's from Jersey. He's huge, like amazing, doing amazing stuff. And for me, that was just impactful just to talk to somebody else from Jersey that's doing something so
amazing,
so
like
big.
that.
And I think like even for Michael B. Jordan, it was the same thing. Like he's from Newark, he's doing big things. So yeah, I would say that's the only one that sticks out right now, Shaq. Most impactful.
I love that though.
But it's so many more. I just can't think of them.
Yeah, I feel like the Shaq is like special because like it's like a family connection.
Yeah.
Tied to it.
Yeah, I love those moments. Anytime I can have like a full circle moment, I love that.
Yeah, and it makes for great stories, and it definitely like makes you stand out.
Yeah.
Like you're bringing like an extra touch to that conversation,
Absolutely.
to that interview because of like the life experience that you had. It's so crazy though, like like divine timing, like I feel like God puts like little moments in our lives that like resurface.
Absolutely.
Because he's planned it all.
That's been happening all my life. Like
so it's Women's History Month. Shout out to all the girls. Is there like a woman that you would like to give your flowers to?
Ooh. There's so many women I want to give my flowers to. Like you definitely one of them. Of course, thank you for having me here.
Of course.
I'm gonna just always give my flowers to my mom. Like I'm gonna just always do that.
Same.
My mom and my sister, those are my rocks, my close friends. Yeah, I'm always give my mom her flowers. While she can smell them. Like anytime I have an opportunity where I can bring her along and do something, that's what I do. So I like to give flowers in real time. Like tell people how I feel about them in real time. Like that's just always been my thing.
I agree. I love that. And I feel the same way. Like, I feel like everything that I've been able to become is because of like my mom.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
So,
I'm so grateful that I didn't have like a mom that told me what I was going to be or told me like what I'm expected to do. Like literally had someone who was just supportive in whatever I wanted to do. And I chose to go to school. Like I chose to be a teacher. I chose to do media and she just supported it, so that's what we need.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely need just supportive parents. And as long as your kid is doing something positive in the world, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Yep.
Now, my final question for you. If you could leave, like your supporters, people that, enjoy your content, read your articles, with one thing to remember about you, what would it be and why?
Remember that I was a real one. I'm gonna say that. Remember that I was a real one. Just remember that, like, I did things my way. I'm gonna say it that way. I don't consider myself to be like a conventional journalist. I don't consider myself to be a conventional media person. There's some people that literally switch up when they get in certain spaces, and I always I remain who I am. Right. This is what you see is what you're gonna get pretty much. And if you rock with it, you rock with it. If you don't, you don't. So I just want people to remember that I was a real one, and that my aim was always to just give the people what I feel like they should know. I think that's it.
I love that. And I think so many people can take that and apply it to their own lives.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No matter what industry they're in. So I just want to thank you so much for chatting with me.
No, thank you for having me. Like I told you, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Like, I don't know if they're going to be able to see this entire space, but it's so beautiful in here. Like, it's just so pretty. Everything about this just screams you, and I just love that.
Thank you so much. And of course, we're wishing you nothing but the best.
I appreciate y'all. And happy Women's Month.
Period.
Yes.